All right, we are gonna start. So today, as we've been working on standard 8 EE7, we are learning how to write equations. But for now, we're gonna look at learning how to write equations from word problems and then solving them. All right, that's a part of it. But before we get into that, we're gonna look at a little bit of what no solution means, what one solution means, and what many solutions mean, and that is in terms of equations. All right. So to start out, I'm gonna pop up my whiteboard right here and put your questions in the chat or answers, whatever. Like if I ask a question, put it in the chat and I'll see it. Let me put this. Nope, this is not working out. There it is. Put this in there. Sweet. So we are starting with. Let's do. It's gonna be one solution. We're figuring out if equations have one solution, if they have no solution, or infinitely many solutions. All right, we are trying to figure out if equations have one solution, no solution, or infinitely many solutions. All right. So to start out, I'm gonna make this bigger right here. To start out, we're gonna start with the question 5x. Let's use a different color because we can. And that's our business. 5x plus 10 is equal to 6x minus 20. All right, I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller right here. And I'll put this up right here. All right, so to solve this problem, we need to, like we normally solve equations, like what we've been doing, we need to get all the x's on one side and then get everything else on the other side, because the goal is to try and figure out what x is equal to. And when we figure out what x is equal to, then we'll figure out if it has no solution, one solution, or infinitely many solutions. All right, so with this, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna minus 6. I'm gonna put my x's on the left side. I'm gonna put minus 6 right there, minus 6x. Sorry, minus 6x is not just 6. And then 5x minus 6x is minus x plus 10. And this right here is equal to 0, right? So we don't need to put it back. And then that, all of that is equal to negative 20. Now for my next step, I need to subtract 10 because I need to get the 10 on the other side. Right? And then once I've done that, I know that this is equal to 0, right? So now I'm left with minus x is equal to a negative 20 minus 10 is negative 30. All right, keep in mind, this doesn't say x equal negative 30. We're not done. We need to find what x is. This says negative x. All right, and in reality, there's an imaginary 1 right here. We just need to put it. We just don't need to put it. But there's a 1 right there. So it's saying negative 1x is equal to negative 30. All right. But instead of writing the 1, we just say negative x. And we can do that because that's our business. All right. So then we're going to divide, because I want x. I don't want negative 1x. We're going to divide by negative 1. And whatever I do to one side, sure enough, got to do it on the other side. All right. So then my answer comes out to x equals a negative 30 divided by negative 1 is a positive 30. Negative divided by negative is positive, and 30 divided by 1 is 30. And that, my friends, is how we solve that equation. So since I got a specific value saying x is equal to 30, x is equal to 30, this has one solution. So let me get my text box right here. This has one solution. And that's how I figure out that it has one solution. I'm going to put this over here. All right. That is one solution. x is equal to 30. Or if I want to put it in mathematical terms, I could say whenever we have x, let's put a different color because we can. Oh, I guess we can't. That's one solution. So it's saying x is equal to, now we could put a different color. It said x is equal to a. So whenever you have an equation where x is equal to a, and a could be any number. It could be any real number. It could be 30. It could be whatever it is. 40, 2.1, whatever it is. When x is equal to a number, it has one solution. So if I give you an equation and say, how many solutions does this have? You would solve it like you would regularly, and then figure out what it's equal to. The next question we're going to look at is 9x plus 7 equals 9x. Let me put this over here. So I'm trying to figure out what x is, literally. That's it. So I need to get all the x's on one side and everything else on the other side. With a question like this, since they're on the right side, there's a 9x, and there's nothing else, I'm going to put all my x's on the right side. So in reality, I'm going to minus 9x. I'm going to do the additive inverse. And then whatever I do on one side, sure enough, got to do it on the other side. All right. So 9x minus 9x is 0, right? 9x minus 9x is also 0. So if you look at it, I'm left with 0 plus 7 equals 0. So it's really saying my answer is 7 equals 0. Because all my x's got canceled out. So since all of that happened, all right, this one, no solution. This has no solution. Let's put that in red right there. Because it didn't give me an x equals something. And it also, another thing we could look at, this is also saying a, if we want to put it in terms of x equals a, we're going to say a, and there's not a not. Maybe I could do, and put a right there. And then I'm going to put a b right here. And we're going to say a is, not. That's a is not equal to b. So that's how we'd write it. So for one solution is x is equal to a, whatever a is. It could be whatever number. For no solution, we're saying a is not equal to b. 7 is not equal to 0. There is no solution in there. All right. To keep it pushing, we're going to look at another example. Let's put a line right there. Oh, that line is a little bit curvy, but that's okay. That's our business. The next question we're going to look at is 6x plus 3 equals 6x plus 18. Bam. And again, all we're doing is solving for equation. All right. With this one, it says we need to solve. And since there are parentheses, I know my first step with parentheses, I'm going to do the distributive property. All right. So 6 times x and then 6 times 3. All right. So to continue, let's do, oh, you could change the line width. That's kind of cool. Let's do question right there. This becomes 6x plus 18 equals 6x plus 18. Do we realize that both sides are equal? Look at that. We could continue, and we're going to continue. Right here, we could already look and see both sides are equal. All right. So to continue, though, we're going to do get x's on one side and everything else on the other side. So with this, I'm going to minus 6x. And with this, I'm going to minus 6x. So already we see that this is going to be equal to 0 and this is going to be equal to 0. So I'm going to be left with 18 is equal to 18. Both numbers are equal to each other. And because both of them are equal to each other, this equation we started with up here has infinitely many solutions. All right. And if I want to put it in terms of an A and a B, or a X equals A in terms of that, this one would be A is equal to A. Let's change the color for that. That's what that one is. So if we look at all these equations, we're looking at this equation. And when I solve that, and if I have both sides equal in the same, so if it was 0 equals 0, 3 equals 3, 4 equals 4, a clock equals a clock, Eisenhower equals Eisenhower, whatever it is, A equals A. All right, infinitely many solutions. So this equation has infinitely many solutions. I have to solve it to figure out if it has infinitely many solutions. All right, same with this one. 7 is not equal to 0. All right, so let me put a line through this. Bam, it's not equal to it. So because 7 is not equal to 0, it's no solution. A is not equal to B. A cat is not equal to a dog. All right, that's literally what it's saying. So if I look to this next equation, where x is equal to 30, it's saying that this equation, it's worked out. When you work it out, it says x is equal to 30. That's what it's saying. So that's giving me one solution. It's telling me that, yes, this is what it is. All right, so we just reviewed what one solution, no solution, or infinite many solutions, what they mean and how they relate in terms of solving equations, so forth. Do we have any questions?